By the end of this video, you should have a good understanding of how to use our online quoting tool. It only takes a couple of minutes to create an accurate room quotation, but if you are pressed for time and you want a very quick comparison, I'll just say now that it's likely that the ThermaSkirt will be very similarly priced to designer radiators. If you're not already there, head to our website and locate the Get a Quote button, which is on most of the pages, including the home page, and the link to the quoting page will also be below this video. Once you're in there, you'll see a step-by-step walkthrough on parts and components that you need to add. If you don't feel confident doing this, you can just click this little link here, and when you click it, it will scroll right to the bottom of the page and show you an inquiry form. You just fill out the form once prompted, pass us your details, click the button here to upload your plans, and send it straight off to our design and estimating team. For our international customers, you can select dollars or you can select euros, and you can also alter the measurements from meters and centimeters to feet and inches. Start off by selecting your energy source, whether it's a boiler or a heat pump or direct electric. When you do this, it will automatically update the profile that we're recommending to you. So for example, if I change from electric to boiler here, you'll see that it's gone from BME2 to BM2, or we've got the BM3. You can then scroll through the profiles and find which kind of profile you want in terms of height, heat output, and obviously profile design. Below this is where you actually add the parts. So I'll make sure that I've selected BM2 because that's the profile that I want. And when I come down here, I choose my heated skirting and the dummy MDF skirting. If you don't know how much skirting you need, there's a little box that you can click and that comes up with a very simple calculator. You put in the length and the width of your room and it'll give you a rough estimation on the amount of heat that you need. Now, it's really important that I get this message across. You do not need heated skirting on every single wall in most cases. The biggest mistake that people make when they're generating their own quotations is they try and put heated skirting on every single wall, and that basically makes the quote way overpriced and way overspecified. So if I've got a 4 by 3 meter room, for example, I might only put in 2 walls, so I'd need a 4 meter and a 3 meter. And if the property wasn't very well insulated, I might put in 3 walls. So let's say we've got a 4, a 3 and a 4. That leaves 1 wall remaining, in which case I'll add, say, 2 meters of MDF because you've got to allow a meter for the door. And then we move on to our corners and joints. Now, the images are pretty descriptive of what it is that you're getting, and hopefully it's quite clear exactly what those components include. If that's not clear, you can click this little I button and that will bring a pop-up which explains what each of those components are. Now, most rooms don't necessarily have the flexi kits. The flexi kits are normally there for bay windows. Most rooms you just need internal 90s or external 90s. So let's say, for example, in this bedroom it's 3 simple walls. I'll need 2 internal corners. And we move on to our control options. As a default, no controls whatsoever are selected. Again, if you need information on controls, you can click the little I button. The most common option is the manual TRV, but we also offer a hardwired digital control and a wireless digital control. Now bear in mind that the digital controls are much more expensive than the manual TRV. So if you go through every single room adding digital controls, expect your quotation to reflect that. If you're looking for a budget price, I would always opt for the manual TRV. It's retrofittable, it's very reliable, it's just like your radiator valve, but most importantly, it's cost effective. Direction of connection is important because it lets us know which bits you need to complete the system. As with all other points, the I button will explain what each of the components are, but effectively you have a clockwise connection, an anti-clockwise connection, or a bi-directional connection. In this case, I'm going to choose a clockwise direction. The very last thing for you to choose is if there's any doorways or obstructions. Because the ThermaSkirt has a start point and an end point, more often than not, you don't need to include for threshold kits. Threshold kits are there if you're trying to connect ThermaSkirt from one side of the door to the other, if you're trying to daisy chain them together. You've got 2 options here. You've got a standard threshold kit, which is where the ThermaSkirt converts back into normal pipe, that drops under the door and reappears on the other side, or you have a heated threshold kit. The heated threshold kits are normally used for bifolding doors, patio doors, or anywhere where you might have a significantly high heat loss through external glazing. Again, the majority of the rooms don't need threshold kits. I'm just doing a very simple bedroom for this example, so I'm not going to add one. If you want to add another room, you simply click add another room and it will scroll the quotation back to the top. If I press that, it takes me to the top and you can see that I've got room 1 and room 2 here in the top left hand corner, and I can flick between the two rooms. So again, boiler, BM2, heated skirting, it could be a simple bedroom, a 5x3. We'll need some dummy skirt, 2 internal corners, a manual TRV, that's anti-clockwise this time, and then you go to get a quote. In order for us to help you with your quotation, we are going to need some basic information about you. It's literally just an email, a name, a phone number, a postcode if you want. The postcode just helps because we might have an installer in your area. And we also ask for a little bit about your project. That information is really useful to us because if you say, for example, what heat source you're on, how old the property is, we can then actually look at your quotation and advise you if we think that it's incorrect. Despite the fact that it's relatively clear, a lot of customers do get their quotations wildly wrong, and our estimating team generally go in and save a significant amount of money. So it is worth leaving your details in order to go through to the final price. And once that's done, we can assign you to a project coordinator who can assist you right the way through to ordering.